Mahakalukumarsamema is a curative ritualistic act performed to ward off the powerful entity known as the Kalukumaraya or Black Prince. This intergenerational performative tradition still continues in the southern coastal regions of Sri Lanka. When the young ones are sick, there are infants dying, women are being barren, when women discard men from sexual interactions, when there are miscarriages occurring, and there is infertility in lands, people believe these calamities are caused by the entity. In order to ward off the presence of the entity, a ritualistic healing act is performed by the healers, the victims, and along with the presence of the cosmic entity. The ritualistic stage is an assemblage structure of many materials and objects.
Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going?
So see, these are some of the references that I've been looking of the Matara tradition. As you can see, some of these notes are jotted while I am working with my mentor Somapala Puthupitiya in Mullegam Art Center. He has mentioned that this is the Matara tradition, exorcist rituals, the head priest, the costume that he wears, and this is kind of the ritualistic crown with 8 sides that is called Kagul in Sinhala that he is wearing. But here he has marked that this crown is not the proper original crown, even though it is documented over here that it has to have 3 corners and 3 certain elements that are missing of the original crown, from the original crown. And this is also some of the costumes that they wear. There are also indications that some of the ritualistic performing costumes are worn by women, but it is not shown in majority of these documented books.
The ritualistic stage is an assemblage structure of many materials and objects. The stages are called palaces, created according to specific geometric alignment for these entities. Nails, hair, objects, food are offered as offerings known as pideni for these entities. The entity Black Prince resides in dark alleys, in abandoned sites, spaces of trajectories, spaces that are destitute, under the twilight, segregated from others. The Black Prince emerges. While searching for traces of queer existence, I came across a popular image depicted of the entity in the Westline Juvenile London Publications, 9th edition, which was published in the year 1852. The source condemns the demonic practice as an uncivilized practice performed by the Sinhalese islanders. They also gender identifies the entity as a female entity, while the popular notion portrays the entity to be most likely a male personification. This opened up new nuances for the speculative narrative regarding the gender portrayal of each entity, their body and their identity within the tradition. Also, how the performers dressed up in hybrid imagery shows disparities to the actual portrayal of the entity in the rituals. The costume in the image of the publication depicts an upper-class Kandyan administrative, while the performers are low-born artisans born in the southern region of Sri Lanka, whose most likely do not have the privilege to wear the mante, also known as a tippet, worn by the upperclassmen as a collar, as seen in the archive image of the entity. I begin to trace the rituals, the origin stories of the entity, and find traces of its inhabitant, also leading towards the northern Hindu territories as well. There is a culmination of overlaps in narratives, paved ways to create a speculative narrative of these entities, their bodies mutated by the paradigms of the society and by the socio-political histories. Materials used here were symbolically known as abject objects, which are discarded idols, icons, sometimes debris of heritage sites or site of trajectories in the form of adornment gradually turns into fleshy, mutated, transgressive beings. Layers and layers of used tea filter paper were stitched on the surface like a derma surface of a colonized creature. She was a goddess, a divine, pure being. Once her body scarred, they discarded her or them as an woman. When the Black Prince's gaze is fallen on women who expects to be mothers, in fear of the entity, they begin to tie these cribs on the branches of the trees where the divine being resides. We then see mothers waiting for their lost children, tying images of them on the trees for years, waiting, waiting, waiting for their arrival, waiting for justice. Who is a mother? Can you be a mother? Do I have to give birth to be a mother? The red statue has gradually mutated because of the pains and the rituals it has been subjugated. It is neither a being that you could identify or fall within any frameworks. The narrative and the form speaks also about the reproductive trajectory that was main focal point in eradicating the queer futurity by the colonizers and so on, so forth. These entities now reside within the space for ritual of land. Do you believe they belong to a land? Do you believe they belong to an identity? Do you believe they belong to a culture? Where do we belong? Our bodies in these inflamed histories, territories, where does their borders end when some exist in the edge? Many children have passed away. Sites to be buried are also gone, foregone. We are still struggling to reclaim our existence. When there is hunger and death upon us, let us create a site in the form of a ritual for healing. Share our stories, our existence in the form of reclamation. Now Nonchi exists as our outer persona of reclamation. Nonchi becomes a conduit for your expression, existence and continuity.